Filipinos are naturally born creative. That's why even before the colonization here in our country, we already have rich culture, which are proven in our literature. Grade 7 Mystery, I want you all to deeply understand our lesson. That is why I'm giving you an assignment. Here, all you have to do is write an essay regarding the statement. Expand your ideas. If you can provide proofs, then much better. Understand? Grade 7 Mystery?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm pretty sure that I'm going to have more sources here for my assignment with Miss Belinda. I gotta go. Yes, there are lots of information, facts, and everything about Philippine literature, but it seems like those are not the answers. It seems like a mystery. Oh, it's 6 o'clock. What am I gonna do now? Oh, I didn't expect to fall asleep. I'm alone here. Oh God! But I still have no answer with my assignment. I better look more around. Huh? What is this? If you cannot find answers in mysteries through things that can be seen in the world, find them through things that cannot be seen by your naked eyes. Okay. Spirit of the glass, are you there? Spirit of the glass, are you there? Wait, what do you want me to say? What do you want to say?
Pre-colonial literature. The variety and abundance of Philippine literature evolved even before the colonial period. Folktales, epic, poems, and marathon chants existed in most ethno-linguistic groups that were passed on from generation to generation through word of mouth. Tales associated with the Spanish conquest also took part in the country's rich cultural heritage. Some of these pre-colonial literary pieces, showcased in traditional narratives, speeches, and songs, are Tigmo in Cebuano, Buktong in Tagalog, Tututdon in Bicol, and Paktakwan in Ilonggo. Philippine epics and folktales are varied and filled with magical characters. They are either narratives of mostly mythical objects, persons, or certain places, or epics telling supernatural events and bravery of heroes, customs, and ideologies of a community. Owing to the works of our own archaeologists, ethnologists, and anthropologists, we're able to know more and better judge information about our pre-colonial times set against a bulk of material about early Filipinos as recorded by Chinese, Spanish,
indigenous
Arabic, and
peoples
other
and
chronicles of the
non-Hispanics
past.
that the
Pre-colonial
Filipinos
inhabitants of
with
our
their
lands
Southeast Asian
showcased
neighbors.
rich past through their folk speeches, folk songs, folk
How about you? Spirit of the glass, are you there? Now, what's your message?
brings you here? Do you want to smoke? Psst. Psst. Bata. I heard that you want me to share something happened in the past that makes you think that this was a mystery, right? Well, I'll give you what you want. It is true that legends during pre-colonial period are known in a form of prose, wherein its common theme is about the origin of anything, place, or a name. The events are imaginary, devoid of truth, unbelievable. All Filipino customs are reflected in these legends, and it aims to entertain. Have you entertained? How about me? Have you known the legend about me? As I remember, this is the most freaking part of my life that I wanted to forget in years of my existence. Believe me or not, this horrifying face that you are seeing right now was once the handsomest face in my town. I have a lot of women left in tears as I didn't entertain them. If not because of that woman, she cursed me for not accepting her child as my child. Yes, we had done what you're thinking. Sex? But that was just once. And all I know ever since, that she is a whore. How sure is she that I am the father of the child? Was that enough to curse me? And turn my beautiful face into this? What she did not know is that I loved her. But I need to obey my parents to save their reputation. They're not in favor for her to be my wife. That's why I left her. I don't know what to do ever since. But the voodoo of her mother was what turns me into this. I left them a letter and got away. I am escaping the world as I do not have a face to show them anymore. Until I've been here, this tree became my home. After all what happened, I never came back.
Spirit of the glass, are you there? Tell me, what can I do for you? Tell me.
You, human! You disturbed my peaceful life here in my kingdom of folktale. How dare you! I will give you a punishment. But because I feel beautiful in my dress, I will let you know me. I am Goddess of Lesson. I am living in my kingdom. Kingdom of folktale. Do you know what folktale is? I will let you know. Folktales during the pre-colonial period. Folktales are made up of stories about life, adventure, love, horror, and humor, where one can derive lessons about life. That's why I am a goddess of lesson. They are useful to us because they help us appreciate our environment, evaluate our personalities, and improve our perspective and life. I really love to tell a story. Do you want to know my favorite folktale? It is entitled The Moon and the Sun, a Tingian folktale. Let's start. The Moon and the Sun. In the olden days, like the moon, the sun had also star children who were yellowish in color, very bright, very hot. His star children of the moon, however, were reddish and cool. The moon was scared that his stars would wither and die if they play with the star children of the sun. The moon suggested to the sun that they kill their children who were crowding the heavens with their number. When the sun had killed her children, the moon merely hid behind the clouds. In the evening, when the clouds faded, the moon stars appeared. This angered the sun, so he gave chase to the moon. Thus, when he overtakes the moon, we have the so-called eclipse. Every morning, that kills the moon stars that he catches. Until now, this chase continues, and because the moon still continues to give birth to the stars, these moon stars are still around. And I know that you gain a lesson from that folktales, and you will apply that in your daily lives. I'm so happy that I shared my favorite folktale to you. Goodbye.
Spirit of the glass, tell me, are you there? Spirit of the glass, are you there? Now, tell me, what can I do for you?
Who dares disturb my sleep? Life before is not what you've known. Are you ready to be told what is supposed to be untold? The truth shall unfold, and in front of you, history shall behold.
Life before is not what you expect. Great stories were told in epics with great length. What is epics, you may ask? Epics are long narrative poems in which a series of heroic achievements or events, a long narrative poem, an elevated style, recounting the deeds of a legendary or historical hero. I used to remember when people used to perform these epics. A great example of this is Bidasari, a Moro epic. This revolves around the life of Bidasari, the most beautiful lady in the kingdom of Indrapura, and her love with the generous and attractive prince Jamil. Torn by war, the wicked Sultana Lila Greta tries to sort things out in the Sultanate by getting rid of the rebels led by Armilo. After hearing the oracle, Lila Greta plots Bidasari's death as the latter poses the greatest threat to her power. Also, other epics were also performed, such as Biag Nilang Ang, an Ilocano epic. It is believed to have originated in pre-colonial times, evolving as it is passed on from poet to poet and generation to generation. The poem is sometimes attributed to the blind Ilocano poet-preacher Pedro Bucaneg, who supposedly dictated it so that it can be written down. Next is Maragtas, a Visayan epic, a work by Pedro Alcantara Monteclaro, titled in English translation, History of Panay from the First Inhabitants and the Bornean Immigrants, from which they descended to the arrival of Spaniards. The works is mixed Hiligaynon and Kinaraya languages in Iloilo in 1907. It is an original work based on written and oral sources available to the author. The next epic is Haraya, also a Visayan epic. Haraya is another epic poem from Panay. It is a collection of rules and conduct told in the form of heroic tales. Next is Lagda, also a Visayan epic, mostly about Annabel Egcalino's finding true love. Hari sa Bukid is also a Visayan epic, a mythical epic of Kanlaon. Kan comes from a Persian word Khan meaning king, and Laon from a Malay word meaning ancient. The next epic is Kumintang, a Tagalog epic. This executes the history of the wars of soldiers of Dato Dumangsil of Taal, Dato Balcasusa of Quezon, and Baing Talim. It is also about the history of King Solodan, sending his 3 sons, Bagtas, Mandukit, and Dikyal from the kingdom of Madjapahit to May and Luzon, which were part of the kingdom of Lontok. Parang Subir. It is a Moro epic degenerated from the holy duty called jihad. Next is Dagoy and Sudsud. This is a Tagbanwa epic. It is a kind of narrative poem that is long but has an epic melody. It is among the literature that shaped or narrated the history and culture of Tagbanwa in Palawan. The epic of Dagoy and Sudsud are just a few proofs that ancient people had their own form of type of literature before conquerors came and even before we were influenced by Western cultures. Next is Tatuang. It's an epic about a supernatural being, the ruler of the land called Kuaman. He was told by the whisperer of the king of Batuoy, a friend, asked for his help to rescue the lady from skyward of Buho. The wind told him that the lady a giant suitor, and she refused to marry him. This angered the giant called Pangumanon. The last epic is Indrapatra at Sulaiman. This is the story of King Indarapatra and his brother Sulaiman. A very long time ago, the large island of Mindanao was completely covered with water, and the sea extended over all the lowlands, so that nothing could be seen but mountains. There are many people living in the country, and all the highlands are dotted with the villages and settlements.
Now that you've seen my memories, it's time for your end.
Spirit of the glass, tell me, are you there? Now, I'm begging you, it's your turn to help me.
Magtanim ay di biro, maghapong nakayuko. Di man lang makaupo, di man lang makatayo. You bastards! You have no mercy. Whatever you did will come back to you. I am Isabella. I am one of the farmers who was mercilessly killed to steal our land. Those greedy people must die. I will take my revenge. I remember the days when I was just living my simple and happy life. I was contented with what I have. Can I share you something? When I was alive, I remember myself listening to the folk songs when I have time after I plant the seeds. Folk songs way back then are very popular. The traditional music of the Philippines, like the folk music of other countries, it reflects the life of common, mostly rural Filipinos. Like their counterparts in Asia, many traditional songs from the Philippines have a strong connection with nature. However, much of it employs the diatonic scale rather than the more Asia pentatonic scale, with the exception of indigenous Filipino ritual music. Folk songs are one of the oldest forms of Philippine literature that emerged in the pre-Spanish period. These songs mirrored the early forms of culture. Many of these have 12 syllables. I remember when my husband sang kundiman to me. Kundiman is a genre of traditional Filipino love songs. The lyrics of the kundiman are written in Tagalog. Kundiman, the Philippine art song, emerged around the late 19th and early 20th century during a movement against Western musical traditions. The genre, which expresses courtship and irrevocable affection. The melody is characterized by a smooth, flowing, and gentle rhythm with dramatic intervals. Kundiman was the traditional means of serenade in the Philippines. My husband used to serenade me to get my attention. He has this adorable voice that is very charming and pleasing to the heart. Serenade is a traditional in rural areas of the Philippines in which young men may formally meet single lady visitors. Traditionally, the suitor will visit the house of the girl and sing by her window until she comes out to either accept or deny him. The suitor may or may not be accompanied, but usually his companion will be playing guitar or backup vocals as he sings. Ideally, the dalaga or young lady will come to accept him.
Dahil sa'yo, nais kong mabuhay. Dahil sa'yo, hanggang mamatay. Dapat mong tantuin, wala nang ibang iliw. Puso ko'y tanungin, ikaw at ikarin.
When I was young, I used to dance kumintang. The kumintang is a name given to several distinct styles, techniques, and forms in music and dance, probably originating in the areas used by early Spanish cartographers and chronicles to denote a large province centering around what is known as Batangas. Travelers during the early 19th century describe it as Tagalog national chant, and written about how they were dance songs performed by a pair of men and women. Oftentimes, these dances would denote love and courtship. I used to sing dalit when I was alive to praise our Almighty God. It is a hymn, or dalit is a song of praise, glory, happiness, or gratitude, usually for God, because it shows or conveys exaltation and worship.
Sa ampon mo't biglang awa, ina naming makalinga, pagkapurihin ka
was my child, I remember I used to sing a lullaby to her to put her to sleep. A hele or a lullaby is a type of poem or soothing song for children or even adults. The purpose of hele is different. Mothers often use it with their children to entertain and educate them. It is also used to put them to sleep.
Sana'y di nagmaliw ang dati kong araw nang munti pang bata sa piling ni nanay. Nais kong maulit ang awit ni inang mahal, awit ng pag-ibig habang ako'y nasa duyan.
Diana is also a folk song. Actually, Diana is a wedding song. I used to sing suliraning too with the other laborers. In traditional cultures around the world, work is often accompanied by song. Suliraning is a song of the laborer. It is our way to relax and have our break. In our province, fishermen used to sing talindaw. Talindaw is a Tagalog word which belongs to the very old songs and treasures of our country. It is considered a type of songboat. It is usually sung by native while sailing in the sea. A talindaw is a seafaring song of the Philippines.
Si Pelimon, namasul sa kadagatan, nakakuha og isdang tambasakan. Gibaligya sa merkadong guba. Ang halin pulos kura, igo lang ipanubang.
I think it's time. I need to leave and go back to where I came from. Actually, I'm here because I heard that you have problems with your assignments. I hope you learned something from me. Thank you for your time. I hope I can get the justice that I deserve. Until we meet again, young man.
Spirit of the glass, are you there? Good. Now, tell me, what can I do for you?
Hi, I am Aling Lusing. I used to be loved by everyone, but everything has changed when they suspected me that I am a witch. They killed me. They stole me to death. I know that they are wrong, but I still love them. That's why I'm still here. Now I am willing to share with you all the lessons I have taught them. I'll never stop doing that.
Epigrams or sentimental. This has been customarily sung and preached as laws or ruled on good behavior by our ancestors. To some, these are like allegories or parables which impart lesson to the young.
I miss my grandchildren, Bonak and Bilog. I always teach them good values when I was alive. You too should stop that. Don't do unto others what you don't want others to do unto you. I wish they're still okay.
Riddles or bugtong. These are made up of one or more measured lines with rhyme and may consist of 4 to 12 syllables.
Can still remember my favorite riddle. Dalawang butong itim, malayo ang mararating. The answer is eyes. I love it because the eyes see the truth.
Chants or bulog. These are used for witchcraft or enchantment.
This is the reason why I died. People mistakenly identified that the one who chants for someone is me. Maybe she also copied my face and body features, that's why. But I have nothing to do with that, so let's proceed.
Maxims. These are rhyming couplets with 5, 6, or 8 syllables, each line having the same number of syllables.
I wish Bunak and Bilogs to remember the maxim that I told them. Sa marunong umunawa, sukat ang ilang salita.
Sayings or kasabihan. Sayings are often used to tease or to comment on a person's actuations.
Ang gumagawa ng kabutihan hindi matatakot sa kamatayan. The only saying that I hold on to until my last breath. But I still wish they realize what they have done to me.
Sawikain. Sawikain are sayings with no hidden meaning.
Still clear in my mind every pain that I endure until my last breath. Sana'y bukas ang isip nila noon. I wish I could live longer, but it is what it is. I hope you learn from me and my experience.
Spirit of the glass, are you there? Spirit of the glass, are you there?
I am the soul of My name is Bilin. I have been here for a long time because I cannot leave my dear husband who's still alive. I am happy for him, hoping that someday we can be together again. I am happy that all of you to me. All of my life I've been alone in this sorrow place. I will grab this opportunity to share my knowledge to you about the historical background of the Spanish period, literature, historical background. It is an accepted belief that the Spanish colonization of the Philippines started in 1565 during the time of Miguel Lopez de Legazpi, the first Spanish Governor General in the Philippines. Literature started to flourish during his time. This sport continued unabated until the Cavite Revolt in 1872. The Spaniards colonized the Philippines for more than 3 centuries. During these times, many changes occurred in the lives of Filipinos. They embraced the Catholic religion, changed their names, and were baptized. Their lifestyle changed too. They built houses made of stones and bricks, used beautiful furniture like piano, and used kitchen utensils. Carriages, trains, and boats were used as means of travel. They held fiestas to honor the saints, the Pope, and the governors.
They had cockfights, horse races, and theater as means of recreation. This gave rise to the formation of different classes of society, like the rich and landlords. Some Filipinos finished courses like medicine, law, agriculture, and teaching. And I am done with my story. I know that you have learned something. Ingat kayo!
Spirit of the glass, tell me, are you there? Spirit of the glass, are you there?
literature. The first one is Doctrina Christiana, or the Christian Doctrine. This was the first book printed in the Philippines in 1593. It was written by Father Juan de Palencia and Father Domingo Nieva in Tagalog and Spanish. It contained the Pater Noster, or Our Father, Ave Maria, or the Hail Mary, Regina Coeli, or Hail Holy Queen, the Ten Commandments, and the Catholic Church, and the Seven Mortal Sins, How to Confess, and the Catechism. 3 original copies of this book can still be found at the Vatican and at the Madrid Museum at the U.S. Congress. The only known extant copy in the world can be found in the Lessing J. Rosenthal collection in the Rare Book and Special Collections Division of the Library of Congress. This unique title has been digitized and is available to all for viewing online. The second book is the Nuestra Señora del Rosario. The second book printed in the Philippines was written by Father Blancas de San Jose in 1602. Printed at the UST printing press with the help of Juan de Vera, a Chinese mestizo. It contains the biographies of saints, novenas, and questions and answers on religion. For our third book under the Spanish influences in the Philippines is the Libro de los Cuatro Os Primeras de Hombre, Spanish and Tagalog. This is the first book printed in typography. For the fourth one, Ang Barlaan at Josephat. This is a biblical story printed in the Philippines and translated to Tagalog from Greek by Father Antonio de Borja. It is believed to be the first Tagalog novel published in the Philippines, even if it is only a translation. The printed translation has only 556 pages. The Ilocano translation in poetry was done by Father Agustin Mejia. Barlaan and Josaphat was popular fiction among the Christians in Europe in 1712. It is a story about two holy people who were considered as true saints. This book was translated by Virgilio Armario to be used by scholars, teachers, and students in Filipino literature. For our fifth book, The Passion, or The Passion. This is the book about the life and sufferings of Jesus Christ. It is read only during Lent. There were 4 versions of this in Tagalog, and each version is according to the name of the writer. These are the Pilapil version by Mariano Pilapil of Bulacan in 1814, the Belen version by Gaspar Aquino de Belen of Batangas in 1704, the De la Merced version by Anchieta de la Merced of Norsagaray, Bulacan in 1856, and the De Guia version by Luis de Guia in 1750. For our sixth book under the Spanish influence is the Urbana at Felisa, a book by Modesto de Castro, the so-called father of classic prose in Tagalog. These are letters between two sisters, Urbana and Felisa. It greatly influenced the behavior of the people in society because the letters dealt with good behavior. For the last one, Ang Mga Dalid kay Maria, or Psalms for Mary, a collection of songs praising the Virgin Mary. Father Mariano Sevilla, a Filipino priest, wrote this in 1865, and it was popular especially during the Maytime Flores de Mayo festival.
Spirit of the glass, are you there? Spirit of the glass, are you there?
Human blood. Wait. Well. Look who's here. Another human. Hi there. I am Luna. And yes, I'm a vampire. I am a 500-year-old vampire. I died because someone killed me. I don't know why I'm here. I'm not a spirit. But I heard that you have a problem with your assignments. I will offer you something. I will help you with your assignment in exchange of your fresh blood. How's that sound? Just kidding. I am full anyways. Maybe next time. But your blood is attracting me. So I heard that you have a problem with the Philippine literary composition during the pre-colonial period. Well, during the 1600s, I went to the Philippines to take my vacation. That's why I have a knowledge on this topic. The diversity and richness of Philippine literature evolved side by side with the country's history. This can be appreciated in the context of the country's pre-colonial culture, traditions, and the socio-political histories of its colonial and contemporary traditions. Let me give you some examples of the literary compositions during the pre-colonial period in the Philippines. The first one is Arte y Reglas de la Lengua Tagala, in English, Art and Rules of the Tagalog Language, written by Father Balangkas de San Jose and translated to Tagalog by Tomas Pinpin in 1610. This is only the second edition of San Jose's Grammar of the Tagalog Language of the Philippines that is first published in 1610. The first published study on the nature and grammar of an indigenous language in the Philippines. It was published in 1610 by Father Francisco Blancas de San Jose, a Dominican missionary, and printed by Tomas Pinpin in the Dominican Printing Press in Nabukay, Bataan. Like other first language grammar book in the Philippines, Father San Jose prepared Arta y Reglas for his fellow missionaries so that they could learn the vernacular more quickly. The book had two more editions in 1752 and 1832. Compendio de la Lengua Tagala, Understanding the Tagalog Language, that is written by Father Gaspar de San Agustin in 1703. This work has been selected by scholars as being culturally important and is part of the knowledge base of civilization as we know it. Vocabulario de la Lengua Tagala, Tagalog Vocabulary. It is the first Tagalog dictionary written by Father Pedro de San Buenaventura in 1613. It was the first dictionary of the Tagalog language in the Philippines. It was written by Father Pedro de Buenaventura and published in Pila, Laguna in 1613. Father Pedro de San Buenaventura compared the Magintawo to dark knights who gained their status by gold and not by lineage. The next one is the Vocabulario de Lengua Pampanga, or the Pampanga Vocabulary. It is the first book in Pampanga written by Father Diego in 1732. An invaluable source for the Kapampangan language, the tongue of the elites of Luzon Kingdom. This dictionary shows us most of the words, be it native or foreign, included in the Kapampangan vocabulary. It is also accounts several archaic, mostly lost Kapampangan words not spoken nowadays. Some of them tell about the unique culture, psyche, and philosophy the Kapampangan believes. Vocabulario de la Lengua Bisaya, or the Visayan Vocabulary. It is the best language book in Visayan by Mateo Sanchez in 1711. Vocabulario de la Lengua Bisaya by Father Mateo Sanchez, completed in Dagami Leyte around 1616 and published in Manila in 1711. Arte de la Lengua Ilocana, or the Art of the Ilocano Language, the first Ilocano grammar book by Francisco Lopez. The grammar Arte de la Lengua Ilocana was written by Francisco Lopez in order to learn the language and to be able to spread the Christian doctrine in the Philippines. It is written in Spanish and based on data from an oral corpus and translated texts, mainly doctrines and gospels. It has almost 200 pages and divided into two parts. The first part is the morphology and the second part is the verbs. And the last one is the Arte de la Lengua Bicolana, or the Art of the Bicol Language. It is the first book in the Bicol language and written by Father Marcos Lisboa in 1754. Arte de la Lengua Bicolana is a list of vocabulary of the Bicol language collected by Marcos de Lisboa when he was assigned to Bicol region, Philippines. Lisboa resided in Bicol from 1602 to 1616. So according to Maria Lilia Rea Lubit, Lisboa's vocabulario contained 10,495 Bicol Espanol word entries in 417 pages and 5,588 entries in the Espanol Bicol section in 103 pages. So that's all for the Philippine literary composition during the pre-colonial period. So Lito, a deal is a deal. Next time we meet, you will do your part of the deal. Careful, human. See you when I see you. Bye.
Now, new spirit, I'm calling you. Are you there?
Who dares disturb my sleep? Life before is not what you've known. Are you ready to be told what is supposed to be untold? The truth shall unfold, and in front of you history shall behold.
Scriptures were burned, and in ashes they will stay. Guide your thoughts for you not to go astray. There are many recreational plays performed by Filipinos during the Spanish times, and almost all of them were in poetic form. The first recreational play that I will tell you about is Tibag. Tibag means to excavate. This ritual was brought here by the Spaniards to remind the people about the search of Saint Helena for the cross of which Jesus Christ died. The next recreational play is Lagaylay. Lagaylay is a special occasion for Pelareños of Sorsogon during May time to get together. As early as April, the participating ladies are chosen, and sometimes mothers volunteer their girls in order to fulfill a vow made during an illness or for a favor received. In some parts of Bicol, a different presentation is made, but the objective is the same: praise, respect, and offering of love to the blessed cross by Saint Helen on the mound she had dug in. The next recreational play is the Sinaculo. Sinaculo is a dramatic performance to commemorate the passion of death of Jesus Christ. There are two kinds of Sinaculo: the cantada and the hablada. In hablada, the lines are spoken in more deliberate manner, showing the rhythmic measure of each verse, and the rhyming in each stanza is more dignified in theme. The cantata, on the other hand, is chanted like the Passion. Next is the Panunuluyan. Panunuluyan is presented before 12 a.m. on Christmas Eve. This is a presentation of the search of Virgin Mary and Saint Joseph for an inn wherein to deliver the baby Jesus. Next is the Salubong or Panubong. The Salubong is an Easter play that dramatizes the meeting of the rising Christ and his mother. It is still presented in many Philippine towns. Next is the Carillo or shadow play. This is a form of dramatic entertainment performed on a moonless night during a town fiesta or on dark nights after a harvest. This shadow play is made by projecting cardboard figures before a lamp against a white sheet. Next is the Zarzuela. The Zarzuela is considered the father of the drama. It is a musical comedy or melodrama with 3 acts which dealt with man's passions and emotions like love, hate, revenge, cruelty, avarice, or some social or political problem. And lastly, the Sainete. This was a short musical comedy popular during the 18th century. They were exaggerated comedies shown between acts of long plays and were mostly performed by characters from the lower classes. Themes were taken from everyday life scenarios. Now that you've seen my memories, it's time for your end.
Spirit of the glass, are you there? Tell me, what can I do for you? Now, you can tell me.
hardship is very hard in the Philippines. They need to swim under the ocean just to catch the heart of a woman. I died before I got married. There was a poor boy who wants to get my heart. And I asked them, I asked them to get the ring under the ocean. Then when they get the ring, I will tell them a riddle. When they get to answering my riddle, then he can marry me. But I died before I got married. There is, they call Karagatan. It is a poetic recap of a social religious nature celebrated during death of a person. And this is me. Karagatan is a ritual. Karagatan is a ritual performed based on a legend about me who dropped my ring into the ocean. And whoever offer my hand in marriage to anyone who can retrieve it. First, there was a leader to start an extemporaneous poem announcing the purpose. Then, he will spin the lumbo or tabu marked with a white line. Whoever comes in the direction of the white line, when the spinning stops, get his turn to go into the sea to look for my ring. This means I will ask him a riddle, and if he able to answer it, he will offer me the ring that he get from the ocean. I am the princess who died before my wedding.
Spirit of the glass, are you there? Spirit of the glass, are you there?
Duplo replaces the karagatan. This is poetic joust in speaking and reasoning. The roles are taken from the Bible and from proverbs and saying. It is usually played during wakes for the dead. I remember when it's the time of my wake. They played something. Now I know it is called Duplo. I may now rest in peace.
Are you there, spirit of the glass?
Balagtasan. Balagtasan is a form of debate using poetic verse. The name of the literary form itself originates from Francisco Balagtas, a hugely influential Filipino poet from the late 1800s. It is a traditional Filipino art form where two protagonists debate the merits of a theme, one supporting it and other arguing against it. The first Balagtasan recorded in Philippine history was held in 1924 to commemorate the birth of national poet Francisco Balagtas, who is also the author of Lorante and Laura. Francisco Baltasar, popularly known as Francisco Balagtas, was born on April 2, 1788 in Bulacan. Regarding the actual performance, Balagtasan consists of three speakers, a narrator, a male or lakandiwa, and a woman or lakambini. The three interact with each other in the form of debate. Each speaker takes turns in reciting lines in poetic rhyme in which the next speaker will respond to. The topics are primarily political in nature, dealing mostly with Filipino nationalism. Judging who wins or loses in Balagtasan is based on a number of factors. First, the argument must be delivered in verse following strict rules on rhyme, rhythm, and cadence. Second, the line must follow a rhythmic cadence if it means taking liberties with syntax. Third, winning depends on other factors such as logic, reasoning, choice of words, reference to topical subject, and most important of all, the use of humor. Because the essence of Balagtasan is the ability to entertain.
Awit and Corrido. The terms awit and corrido are both related to music. Awit is the Tagalog word for song, while the Spanish word corrido means a metrical story that is usually sung to the accompaniment of a guitar in fandango style. Pardo de Tavera, an eminent Filipino scholar, believes that word corrido was derived from the Spanish ocurrido, meaning events or happenings. The Spanish colonization period between 1585 to 1863. Both the corrido and awit are referred to as narrative poetry. The corrido is in octosyllable verse. The corridos are usually on legends or stories from European countries like France, Spain, Italy, and Greece. The corrido refers to narration, secular non-religious literature. By their statement, corrido is the generic name for Philippine romances. In Tagalog literature, an awit is distinguished from the corrido basically by number of syllables in each line. The corrido refers to metrical romances in octosyllabic or 8 syllables verse called hakira, while the awit is in dodecasyllabic 12 syllables verse called glosa. Example of corrido, we have Ibong Adarna by Maria Odulia de Guzman.
Anytime that you're ready, move the glass. Spirit of the glass, you're there. Now, tell me what to answer.
Because of Christianity, I died. Because of that play, I died. We were practicing that night for that play, for the feast, for the wonderful celebration. But one man changed the fake sword to a real one. No one else knew. Beside the cameraman and the one who handled it before it struck to my head. No one saved me. Are you asking what the play is? Oh, that is Moro Moro. Do you know what it is? Do you know what Moro Moro is? It killed me. It made me suffer. All of those pain that I received. No one saved me. Do you want to know the story of Moro Moro? Moro Moro is like the Sanaco Lower Inn. It is presented also on a special stage. This is performed during town fiestas to entertain people and to remind them of their Christian religion.
The plot is usually the same of that a Christian princess or a nobleman's daughter who is captured by the Mohammedans. Presented during April or May, the Moro of different villages also have different versions. Despite these, all Moro plays are full of romance and melodrama. The high point is always a battle between Muslims and Christians. The father organizes a rescue party wherein fighting between the Moros and the Christians ensue. The Mohammedans are defeated by some miracle or divine intercession, and the Mohammedans are converted into Christianity. In some instances, the whole kingdom is baptized and converted. One example of this is Principal Rodante. The Moro is a very long play. The show can go up to 5 or 6 hours a night for 3 consecutive nights in a row. The longest play known lasted for 12 days. 12 consecutive days. We just want to celebrate. We just want to retell the story. But why would they do that to me? Why? I don't know the reason. I don't know what I have done.
Spirit of the glass, are you there?
Lament. Dungao. It is an ancient poetry and tradition of Ilocano. It is sung as a lament when person dies. In this, it speaks of the goodness of the man when he was alive. Ilocanos have a collection of dirges or dungao, chanted or waited in funeral wakes lamenting the passing of the dead. For tourists or non-Ilocanos, hearing it sounds like a praise that is more sung than spoken. Tradition of Dungao. Dungao is the song of soul that Ilocanos sing to erase the pain of losing their loved ones. It is the release of the pent-up flood of indignation and suffering, a cry from the heart that can no longer keep its peace. During the wake, when one starts chanting Dungao, people will follow and the whole chorus will be synchronized. Not just women, men also sing this song of grief.
Pre, wake up. The library is about to close. Oh, so it's real now that I fell asleep? Of course. What do you mean? Everything is a dream. I think I know what to answer.
How about you, Lito? What's your answer?
The historical works of our ancestors that were deemed to be the works of devil burnt by the Spaniards are all falsehood. The works of the yesteryears are still being cherished in today's generation as it ponders legendary acts of our ancestors and still reflect in our thoughts and deeds as a prideful Filipino. The lessons of the past, traditional and religious beliefs, Christianity, courtship, death, all manifested in the incredible and splendid Philippine literature. Folk songs, in particular, prove that there is a native culture that is truly owned. In today's modern world, Filipino language is often used with a combination of other dialects. Filipino language, as well, still have the poetry trait that our ancestors were well known of. The use of rhyme and patterns are still there. Associating the treasured works to the devil is a lamentation of how Spanish regime was too oppressive and tyrant. Thankfully, the performance of the publishers and printing press was remarkable as they had the interest to publish some works that were passed on by word of mouth. This intriguing statement should not be relied on because today we prove that we still enjoy and appreciate our cultural heritage that long been preserved.